This episode of Monday Night Raw is October 23rd, 1995. Let's get into the review. We get a tease that we will see some footage from last night's In Your House, where Bret Hart and Diesel got into a brawl after the main event match, and also the situation with the Intercontinental title. I'll give my take on that as well as we get to it. But Raw starts off with a battle royal for something or another. Actually, never mind. Marty Jannetty tells us that it's for a shot at the Intercontinental title. How is he in this match but no Goldust, who beat him at In Your House the night before? King Kong Bundy also makes a rare appearance, but he gets eliminated first. Me personally, I love battle royals. As long as there's a reason for them, no matter what, it could be for $1 and it'll have my attention. I'll sit through the whole match to see who wins that dollar. Barry Horowitz continues his red hot momentum by eliminating Skip, but after commercial they tell us that Barry got eliminated, but they never show us. Bro, these conspiracy theories continue to happen against Barry Horowitz. Why do they keep trying to keep him down? Because they don't show us. Someone needs to find that footage because if not, that means he would have won this match, and of course, his first shot at a title, he would have won it. But they just so happen to not show us his elimination. Almost like they don't want us to remember that he was even in the match. It seems oddly suspicious to me. Psycho Sid also gets thrown out by Bam Bam Bigelow, but then Bigelow gets tossed out by Jean Pierre Lafitte. Gets us to the final four: Owen Hart, Marty Jannetty, Lafitte, and Savio Vega. Jannetty skins the cat and head scissors Savio out, and then back body drops Pierre to get him out. Owen goes towards the ropes, but kind of just bounces into them. Not sure if he was supposed to do the same skin the cat spot, but they try again for Owen to end up on the apron. Speaking of which, why is it called skinning the cat? What does that have to do with almost being eliminated and pulling yourself up and back over? Owen eventually gets back inside and sends Marty out, but he went through the middle of the ropes, so he's still in. But stupid Marty Jannetty turns his attention to Jim Cornette on the outside, and because there's no DQ, British Bulldog runs out and attacks Marty, tosses him back in the ring, and Owen is able to eliminate him to win. It's a heel win, so can't really complain about it. But if the Bulldog was going to come out to help Owen, why not just Bulldog come out as soon as it was down to Owen and Marty? And they could have just double teamed him and then just tossed him over. It also made Marty Jannetty look completely stupid for switching his focus on anything but the match that he was in. So next week, Owen will take on Razor Ramon. Owen cuts a promo claiming that he will beat Razor because he's the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. So we'll see if he does because I don't know what happens there. Maybe just another non-finish. Then they show us the events of In Your House, where Diesel and Bret ended up brawling because Bret got into the ring and started beating up Bulldog because he had smacked him while he was sitting on commentary. And at Survivor Series, it will now be Diesel versus Bret Hart for the WWF title. A lot of people have said that this was a bad run, but I don't think so. Maybe he has a draw and his promos, but his matches have been better than I would have expected. Against Bret at the Royal Rumble, Shawn at WrestleMania, matches with Sid and Bigelow. His feud with Mabel wasn't terrible either. Was it needed? Not at all, but I can think of worse storylines than that one. And his matches against the Bulldog as well. So, yeah, not a bad run in terms of in ring and on TV. But yeah, maybe as a draw, and that's mainly why they say that it was a bad title run. But as a fan, you're only looking at the stuff that you see on TV, so yeah, I thought it was fine. Next up, we see that there is a change in the Survivor Series where good guys and bad guys will be on the same teams. Shawn, Sid, Bulldog, and newcomer Ahmed Johnson will be taking on Owen Hart, Yokozuna, Dean Douglas, and Razor Ramon. I don't know what to think about it, especially with no real stakes, which it really doesn't matter because it'll probably end with everyone backstabbing each other. So, yeah, we'll see how they build those matches. We also see Bob Backlund in the crowd campaigning for his candidacy for president. We've been seeing that for, I think, like months now. Then we see the debut of Avatar, played by Al Snow, standing splash to pick up the win, and you can see that he's not feeling this gimmick at all, which he shouldn't be, but if he were to glance over to Vince McMahon, he would be 6 feet under. But you know what? A guy that I thought was fired or had been removed from TV, he's back. I still don't know his name, but it's the merchandise guy. He's selling us some standees of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Good to see that he's still around. Vince promotes that next week there will be a battle of the legends, but then we get a promo for Savio Vega versus Goldust. Not sure if this was edited or if I missed something, but if that's the legends match that he was speaking of, I don't understand the reference. Next, we have Bertha Faye having a match on Raw for the first time in like 6 months. And technically, Bertha Faye is still in the running for the Dominance Award, standing at 1 0 in Raw matches, that is. This is for the Women's Championship, and she's taking on Alundra Blaze. After being dominated for the first part of the match, Alundra mounts a bit of a comeback, Blaze Hurricane Rana's Bertha off the top and then hits the German suplex for the win, but it was after Bertha and Harvey bumped into each other while Whippleman was on the apron. So Alundra wins the belt for the fifth or sixth time, and we probably won't see her for another 5 or 6 months. Did Vince have a clause in the contract with his TV deals or something that there has to be at least one women's match every 6 months? Because if not, you can tell that he doesn't really care about the division, so I don't understand why he even puts it on the show to begin with. Finally, here are the comments from Shawn Michaels about him having to relinquish the Intercontinental title and about when we can expect to see him back in the ring.
I have more tests coming up Wednesday that I hope to pass with flying colors. I have to check out the brain, which I can tell them right now has never been that great. But hopefully it'll be up to par, and I'll be back to go within a week, I hope. And one thing's for sure, the Heartbreak Kid has always been the pain in the derriere of the World Wrestling Federation. I've got two choices, to sit home and cry or to come out and be a pain. And I got news for you, folks. I'm all cried out.
So we'll see if Shawn comes back soon or if they hold off and make an angle out of this. Wink, wink. No spoilers here. Well, except for that one time. Oh, and that other time that I spoiled that thing. I think I spoiled something earlier. But besides those, we're going to wait and see how this plays out. So, with that being said, this episode is going to get a bad grade. Had a battle royal for a title shot, so that starts it off with a good grade, but then it was two matches that I couldn't care less about. One was for the women's title, but again, they don't put that much time into the division, so I don't care if the match was good or not. Even if there was a title switch, it's going to be forgotten about by next week. There were some good announcements and stuff for upcoming shows that I'm looking forward to, but this show, besides the Battle Royal, I didn't find much on the show to go back and watch, so bad grade it is. And that does it for this review. I'm out. Catch you guys on the flippity flip.